What's up guys? Today we're going to be putting some work into the JZ build. So we got this catch can in the mail, just a universal 10AN fitting catch can. Pretty simple design, but should work just fine. So I'm thinking we're going to mount it like right in here because there's nothing in here. So perfect place for a catch can. We're going to have like a L-shaped bracket right to there and then just holding it right here like this. I think that's gonna be the best bet, so we can still drain it into something if we ever have to, and it just sits in there pretty nicely. This thing is so sweet though, guys. Like, they literally knew that we were gonna modify this car. They already have this right here for the AN fittings to go through. I'm just gonna draw holes right here, just so there's like a nice little grommet, but it's crazy how this is already prepared for something like this. It's like it was meant to have a catch can in here. We got these welded up on there, 10AN on the valve covers. So I just need a 90 for here, probably a 90 for there. Then we're gonna have the lines probably just run back here and then right into here. Just gotta worry about my downpipe. So like, I don't want it to like go right across right here because it'll hit the downpipe or be close to it or whatever. It is looking very, very good, guys. As you can see, we got the feed all in there. I'm just gonna have, I don't know, I'm gonna make some bracket or something, grommet, just to hold it against here like that. So it's away from the manifold. It's on that back oil feed port on the block. There's a front and a rear, and I just thought this rear one works perfect because I can just, there's like threads right here, so I can make something, just hold it right there, and then we'll have like a heat blanket thing over it, and it just goes right to the turbo, so that's perfect. As far as the drain goes, the drain pipe is right there, so it is a bit close to the manifold. I'm gonna have to figure out exactly like what I'm gonna do with that. I'm probably gonna have like a 45 pointing this way, and then it's just gonna go through right here and then right to the drain port right there, and we'll just have a nice heat shield over it so it doesn't get burned by the manifold, because I mean, there's really no other spot to go through. I mean, you could always go through here, but then you're like kinking around this. I don't know. You can see right here, we got those spacers made. So I just got them custom cut, and it's the same material as the mounts, so that's perfect. And then I have my buddy Beardy. He tapped in the threads into these things. He did a very good job. He has a heel coil on there, and he even tapered the threads. It's beautiful, guys. Just take my word for it. So we're probably gonna get those welded, aluminum welded straight onto there, just so they're way more secure. But that raised the engine just enough to where it finally clears this aluminum under tray. So as you can see, even with the extended pan, it's clearing. So now we have all the protection we need for the oil pan. So if anything bottoms out or anything, it's gonna hit this pan before anything. That is very nice. I love that it's just a factory aluminum under tray that just guards everything.
Owning an E46 M3 has made me very paranoid about rod bearings. I don't care what engine is going in this car, it's an E46 M3 at the end of the day. So we made the decision to get some ACL race bearings and ARP rod bolts, just so I know for a fact that this thing is going to be going in there fresh and ready to take on any stress that I throw at it. I know, guys, it has been a while since you've seen this build and given an update. I apologize for that. At the end of the day, I did say that this thing is self-funded. It's pretty expensive. I definitely was a little in over my head when I made this decision. You also probably noticed that the video production has slowed down quite a bit, and that is because I have just been grinding, working nonstop to fund this build. I want this thing done. We have a deadline for this build, guys. I plan to compete in Clutch Kickers round 3, which is June 11th through the 13th. This thing has to be done for that event. Yeah, we need to get cracking on this thing. We need to grind work as much as possible to fund this thing and get it ready for Clutch Kickers. I need this thing done in like May or so, just so I can drive it around, get a feel for it, make sure there's no kinks with the car and everything, so it's ready for competition. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for that, guys. But yeah, enough talking, guys. Let's just get these crusty rod bearings out and replace them with brand new ACL race bearings. Holy shit, that was scary. Not gonna lie, guys, that was a little terrifying, but whoo, we got it. I hate these Harbor Freight engine stands. I mean, what are you gonna do? Not the smoothest things in the world, but the engine is where I need it to be. So yeah, I never sealed this oil pan because I knew I wanted to do rod bearings. I really didn't want to cheap out and just not do them and throw it in the car and kind of guess if it was gonna last or whatever. So yeah, we're gonna take this oil pan off and then we're gonna get cracking on this thing. Here's the condition of the bearings. So as you can see, plenty life left on them, but I'm just glad I changed them out just so I know for a fact that they are good. But yeah, these things were pretty mint condition. So at least I know that this engine is in very good condition and probably pretty low mileage. So yeah, we got those bolts out. These are the bearings. You can see a little bit of wear right there, but nothing too crazy on any of these things. No copper showing or anything. It's not like an S54. Okay, so another thing we're about to do is I got this oil filter relocation kit. It's really nice. It's a billet piece. I'm pretty happy with it. And these are just gonna go to AN fittings. So I was looking around as to where I would mount this because I want it to be like this. The stock filter location was like right around this area, so it would make it pretty hard to service this car with the oil filter like this. So I wanted to figure out where I would put it to where it would be facing this way, so I could pre-fill the filter with oil before I put it in, so it's not going in there dry. So yeah, I wanted it to be straight up and down. I was looking everywhere to see where I would put this thing, and right here looks like it's gonna be perfect. So we need to just sand this down flat so it's nice and flat right there. So we can just drill 2 holes and do a bolt and a nut. As you can see through here, doesn't go into the oil pan or anything, so that's perfect right here. It's gonna be right there, and that'll be perfect to service this thing. All right, guys, clean this thing completely up. It's as clean as I'm gonna get it, really. Made sure there was like no gasket in these little crevices and stuff. So now comes for the fun part of applying this RTV. We're just using Ultra Gray. It's like the FPIG or whatever the heck. It's pretty much the identical gasket maker. This thing was like $20, which is kind of lame, but this should keep the car from leaking. I don't want any leaks. So let's just hope that I apply this properly and we don't get any leaks. This is the scariest part right here, aligning it. All right, so we waited an hour for that to kind of like tack up or whatever, the RTV. And now we're gonna torque down everything. So the 14 millimeters go to 33 foot-pounds. There we go, 33. All right, so now that we got these torqued down, we're gonna do the 12 millimeters, which those are 14 foot-pounds. So we got these engine mounts back, and I decided to grind off these welds. I think they're kind of ugly, you know. Not talking crap or anything to the guy that welded them, but, you know, I've been pretty picky with this build, so we just decided to grind it off. And as you can see, it's hot right now, but looks a lot better. I know it's like, ow, it's hot. I know it's not perfect, but I think it looks a lot better like this than it does like this. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, guys, so now you can kind of see how the drain is going to be ran. As you can see, barely any of the hoses kind of really by the manifold. We're still going to put the heat shielding around it though, but this is perfect. And we just need to go to right here. So take this tape off. That's fully tightened. So I don't know, I want there to be a little bit of slack. I think we're gonna go right about there is good. I've never done this before, but we will mark it like, we're gonna put the tape right here, so when we cut it, it doesn't like fray it up or anything. And then I'm gonna mark it with a Sharpie exactly where to cut it. All right, so we're gonna want it like cut right about this area. Hopefully that works. If it doesn't, I suck at making AN lines and I learned from it. And we will just remake it, but should be good. All right, safety first, right? All right, let's cut this thing. We want to cut it as straight as possible. We're gonna make sure this is nice and defrayed or whatever, and clean in there. We're gonna spray a little bit of brake clean in there just to kind of get it all out. Cause that's some nasty stuff I don't want in my oil. There we go. All right, I think we are ready to put the other AN fitting on there, and there's our drain. All right, so with this fitting, I noticed that just doing it by hand works. So just wanna slip it over, push it down as much as you can, and then you're just gonna push down as you turn counterclockwise and just kind of dig the hose in there. There's like a little lip right here, right where the threads start. So you just want the hose to be bottomed out right there. Right there you can kind of see the hose being bottomed out on the threads. So that is ready to go for the other piece. Get our red line assembly lube. So now we're gonna just set this guy in there. I'm gonna hold this up just so it doesn't slip out or anything really. All right, there we have it. Drain is finished. So I'm gonna pull them. They're on there. Let's go put it on the engine now. All right. This is all on there, nice and secure, not touching the manifold or anything. And then we just need the heat shielding and be perfect. All right guys, so another thing we're doing is we're putting Loctite on these bolts. So I guess we have to put Loctite on these once the timing is set. I'm not gonna advance the timing or retard the timing at all, I don't believe. So we're just gonna set it how it is. If I do have to change it, not a big deal, we can always change it. And then as you guys can see, we got this bolt instead from Powerhouse Racing as well. This is the factory bolt, it's kind of ugly, so decided to just get this piece just to kind of match the gear better. I think it looks great. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna put some blue Loctite on all these bolts because I don't want any of them backing off. in here and then like kind of floating around, that would just not be good. So I'm gonna put blue Loctite on these bolts and then blue Loctite on these nuts right here, just so we don't have any worries of them coming apart or anything from vibration. Alrighty, time to put this thing on. Hand is on now. Time to just finger tighten all these bolts and then let it sit for an hour. Another thing we just got in the mail are these Powerhouse Racing pulleys. These things are really nice. Funny enough, I actually won these off of their Instagram post, so thanks to whoever contributed to the likes on there. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Got this whole pulley set for free, so that's freaking awesome. Thank you to whoever helped. Let's toss these things on here and see what it looks like. So yeah, just comparing the weight, like the stock one, got some good weight to it, and then you go to the Powerhouse Racing one, so much lighter. I think it's probably a quarter of the weight of this pulley, and it looks beautiful. These things look sick, man. I'm so hyped about these. This is the black edition. Can't believe I won these. Starting to put them on and it's looking awesome. It came with this alternator pulley as well, but can't get this guy off, and I'm getting a new alternator anyway. I just have this one from mock-up. This one's pretty old. So yeah, we're gonna install this on the new one, not on this one, but dang, these things look sick, man. They look so good. And it matches the cam gear as well, so pretty happy with how that looks. And I guess they add a little bit of performance because they're lighter and take less to spin or whatever, but dang, that looks sick. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for episode 4 of this JZ E46 M3 build. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, see if I make it to Clutch Kickers round 3, June 11th through the 13th. Hopefully I can get this thing ready in time. I think we are on the right track. We have some super exciting news. We have a couple companies that are gonna be working with this build, so it really should help speed up this process, get me going to Clutch Kickers round 3. I'm really happy with how this thing's turning out. I think it's turning out beautiful, like exactly how I had it envisioned. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, what you guys think of this build and how it's turning out. Sorry it's taken me a little while, kind of by myself doing this. This is my first time ever doing a build like this, so there's a lot of learning I have to do and a lot of work to fund this thing, but we are getting there. I'm gonna do everything I can to get to Clutch Kickers round 3. Make sure you subscribe, see if I make it there. I will do the best I can to get content out to you guys more regularly. It's just been hectic trying to get this thing ready. Hope you all understand, but thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.